And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for HBO Max's original series, Peacemaker. From the Peacemaker character that we had in Suicide Squad 2, this is the first 3 episodes. Thanks to HBO for giving us the screeners. We obviously have, I think, the first 7, but we can only talk spoilers, which I'm not going to do in this one. I'm just going to give you an overview, whether or not you should be watching it, were you maybe tentatively excited, it's like, will this be as good as the film, or will this be actually any good at all? What will the story be in this? Like, it's an origin story, so is it going to be actually entertaining? It's not really an origin story. It's more taking from that moment, Suicide Squad 2, where he basically is shot. He wakes up in the hospital, and that's where we pick up. There's a little bit of a beginning kind of before. Do you remember what happened in Suicide Squad 2? And then we jump in. So I'm here to talk about whether you should be watching it. If you are in the US and surrounding countries, I believe, but the UK is not going to get this for a while, so we'll sit tight. But thanks again to HBO. Let's jump in. So John Cena once again dons his metal mask for some of the time, but we're really starting to understand where he comes from. We get to know a bit more about I guess his family. His father's very much a part of this series somewhat, and we have an interesting eclectic cast, like his new team. And he hasn't done his 30 years in prison. He's done 4 of the 30. He thinks he's going to get away with it, but unfortunately he has another task to do, a superhero vigilante task. There's something happening that's threatening the world again, and so he's been called upon that. And so with this eclectic group of individuals, some we've seen, some new, they have to basically save the world from the butterflies. I did wonder how interesting this was going to be, because in the film, he's a great character, and John Cena kicks ass playing the character. But sometimes you get TV series or films which take characters and make them the main character or the focus of it, and it just doesn't quite work. So I did have that in the back of my mind, thinking, I don't know. James Gunn, once again, helms writing the first 3 episodes, directing the first 3 episodes, and it definitely has a James Gunn feel. You know it from the score, and the kind of the tone and the tempo, the pacing of it feels like a James Gunn work, and it's fantastic. I have to say, this might be one of my greatest intros to a TV series ever, which is why I did the silly dance at the beginning, because it kind of sticks in your head. You have almost the whole cast dancing, which is fantastic. It's just a really fun intro. I would say it doesn't take very long for it to kind of establish what it is. It took me about 25 minutes, 30 minutes to kind of get to grips with it. I wasn't sure whether I was actually liking it. The dialogue is quirky, and it is gory, and I guess that 15 age demographic, as you'd expect. They didn't water it down, which I was glad about. But once the story starts kicking, the arc about what the butterflies is, and we start caring more about our John Cena character, Peacemaker, that's when the story really starts to find its own ground. And so everything between the action is fantastic. Like the way it's shot, you get to see the fights, it's visceral, it's brutal, like you'd expect, and those are really enjoyable. We have his eagle as well, which is like his best friend, and his non-other best friend, non-eagle vigilante, which comes about, and you'll see, I think it's Andy Seberg, he is an interesting character in this. There are metas that you're going to meet. So the first episode really takes its time getting into, okay, this is what the world is. Once you get into the world, it kind of reminds you, oh yes, by the way, you're living in the DC universe, and therefore things like this can happen. And so it takes that kind of, we now know what's happening, but here's the DC-ness of it. I really feel like it pads it well enough. So I think people that love the Peacemaker character but wanted more from that world are going to love this. It obviously doesn't have the budget of Suicide Squad, but it doesn't feel like it's missing any budget. It fits right in. It's one of those very easily bingeable series. I think if you love this world, you're going to love it. I don't think it'll be for everybody. If you didn't like Suicide Squad, or the banter, or the music, or the pacing or tone of it, you're not going to find a lot of enjoyment out of this. My wife sat for half an hour. She's like, no, I'm going to go and read. That's fine. Everybody likes different things. For me, I was like, This is great. I'm really enthralled by how the character is progressing, much more three-dimensional rather than the guy that just is kind of broken following the rules. Now we get to understand why he follows the rules. And even in those 3 episodes, we start in seeing some stuff into his psyche. But at the same time, he still comes across that he needs a lot of work because there's layers in there that's really quite messed up. And we see part of the reasoning of that of his bringing up. The arc, I think, is going to find that you're going to enjoy it much more. Even the beginning of episode 4 kind of leaves off what happened at the end of 3. We kind of take that moment, they're in the van, and it goes directly from there. I can't wait to go watch the rest of the episodes. I'm going to go do that as soon as I've edited this and put this up. But I just kind of wanted to get you excited. If you weren't sure, I would say be sure. It's a lot of fun. 4.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5 easily, but I can't rate it fully yet because I haven't seen all the episodes just yet. I'm going to go and watch them as soon as I have time. But just wanted to get you excited for it. Let me know in the comments below, what are you most excited to see in this series? What are you hoping they're going to bring? Do you think we might get some interesting teasers for other characters from the DC universe coming in? There's already been mentions of a number like Easter eggs in there. Amanda Waller we've seen as well, like on a little video clip. So I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I don't want Easter eggs for the sake of it. I just want to see other characters written into the story quite well. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the Butterfly storyline. Let me know your thoughts below. Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.